Hey everybody, welcome back, Nerds Deep. We got the crew here, guys. It's so good to see Billy. How in the hell is it going in shit pickle land out there in Ohio?
In Ohio? Ohio is alright, I suppose. Work sucks, long hours. At least I got a raise. Hi, I'm here again. It's been like a month. I mean, I've been around at shows, but like, I'm back. Hi.
Billy, we missed you.
We missed you, Billy.
Missed you.
Wait, I can request a song now?
Wait, what?
All sorts of stuff has happened with Billy's Windows update.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Bill, how the hell is it going, man? Jeez. Yeah, the weather out here in KC is horrible, and yeah, it's not getting better for the next few days at least.
It was 101 degrees today with humidity. So I don't know, throw that up to about 110.
Yeah, it's not Arizona 101 where it's like, whoo, that's hot. No, this is like, oh my God, I need my shorts fell to themselves.
It was noticeably thick air to breathe today. Just like walking soup around. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're inhaling soup. That's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, like really garbage, cheap soup, not the good stuff.
No, like
soup. Like separated broccoli cheese soup.
Oh. That is worse than vomit right there.
Where the cheese and the oil just kind of like separate out, so you got these little globules of oil, and
reality sets in.
You pray for a floret of broccoli, and you end up with like these tiny little like
tofu,
like no, not tofu. What do they call it? The little bean sprouts. Yeah.
Oh God, that's so nasty.
It's gross. Sometimes you wonder if they even throw bean sprouts in there just to throw you off. You're like, you think it's broccoli, but it's really bean sprouts.
And I like bean sprouts, but if it surprises you in something, no, that's bad news.
Who'd have thought? We used to grow bean sprouts in science class in elementary school. You're like, oh, we can eat these?
You're like, I wouldn't do that.
They taste like where they grew out of.
That's subjective. So yeah, E3 happened last week. Holy crap. There was a lot of nothing and some of something, depending on, what team you're rooting for. PlayStation did jack shit. So sorry.
PlayStation was no. Before you even get into jack shit, PlayStation already was out of the previous E3s. They said they were done with E3, and this E3 proved why they probably should stay out of E3. There was very few exceptions that I can think of. Mainly just whatever came out of Xbox was fine, and the PC indie games were cool, and then there was a little bit of Nintendo. Everything else. Bleh.
Oh man, Capcom made a hell of a showing. They really did. That DLC for Resident Evil Village is gonna be great, guys. The Capcom has the best memes, straight up. Thank you, Capcom.
It was absolutely amazing how little Capcom shared. And then there were a lot of people saying, hey, just imagine, being in quarantine for so long and having to come up with a show for E3. So lay off a little bit, because I guess a lot of people are pretty pissed off about E3 this year.
Okay, but you could just not go if you don't have anything. Like the kid in class who says, I don't have anything this week to share, and they move on.
Well, and Sony went one on above and said, you know what, we're going to do our own show. So
yeah, but when is that going to be, Phil?
It doesn't matter. I don't know. Didn't they say July or August or something like that?
There's definitely going to be something. Probably.
I know they do the state of plays pretty regularly, which aren't really much to listen to in general, but every once in a while you get a good nugget. But yeah, I mean, that's better than like trying to throw together some E3 and talk about your ultra insane 14-inch laptop with a 3080 inside of it.
Oh,
because it's never been done before. It's never been done before, Jeff.
Did you see that power brick? 350 watts. You can put all the shit in it. It's so awesome. It's the best. It's the slimmest, the fastest.
Extreme.
Extremist. God damn it. That's awesome. Razer. You're the best.
Razer came.
It's literally
came. They were. He brought that laptop out and showed the screen, and everybody just went. Bleh.
Yes. The pre-order money. Take it. And the screen.
What did they say the price was for that thing? Did they even list a price for
it? The laptop or the screen?
Yeah. No, the laptop.
The laptop was like the full boat version with the 3080 and all that was like $27.99, I believe.
Which, when you think about that, it's like, well, shit, I can get a 3080 now?
Yeah, I was like, can I pull my shit out and put it in my desktop? Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm going to take the laptop apart, put in the slim 3080. I am curious.
Half a slot.
I am curious to see how they pull off the thermals on that, because I bet you it gets throttled like crazy.
Either that or it is a fucking jet engine. They had like 80 fins in the fan or something crazy. 80 fins.
That I don't remember. I was too busy giggling at the chat while the live stream was going. But everything was ultra amazing and extreme, and I was blown away by how ultra and amazing it was.
Oh wow! Oh,
it got me. It got me. That's all I can say.
I mean, the laptop was one thing. The screen was a whole nother thing. I thought I was watching an Apple presentation with that screen. And no, it's not OLED, everybody, for $900. That is an LCD panel.
Yeah.
For $900.
No less.
I mean, so the cables are pretty cool. Anyway,
and the charger, man. Did you see how small it was?
Yeah, it's the thinnest and the bestest, and compared to other shit in it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, compared to the other thinnest battery that's already on the market, so it's even thinner than that. So,
gaming,
man, they beat the shit out of thin.
Yeah, Yeah,
Thin
it's
and
the
tiny,
thinnest
man. They got it.
gaming laptop ever.
And
I don't.
I copyrighted Thin and Tiny a long time ago.
well, you need to take it up with
Okay.
Razer. Yeah, Razer.
Oh.
I was about to say Ryzen for some reason. Sorry, I've had drugs lately. But what blew me away about that laptop was it's a 14-inch laptop
Already, we're like, okay,
with a 3080, and I'm assuming that if you really want to take advantage of that graphics card, you have to hook up an external monitor. There's like no way around it, right?
it's like 165 hertz. I think it was a 2K display. So I mean, those are all good, but
Good
they're
on
not.
a 14-inch monitor.
Yeah, it's so small. What happened to like a 17-inch laptop? You could have made even thinner and more better.
More battery.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was Razer had a very interesting presentation for sure, and I have a feeling that it's going to be memed if it hasn't been already. And if it hasn't been, we need to get on it because holy crap, there were so many repetitions of how ultra amazingly awesome and extreme it was, and that it's never been done before. And this is a first. And Razer has conquered the internets. So
I gotta say though that the dude doing the presentation, I don't know where he is in the company, but he did a hell of a job.
Hey,
Straight up, he did the best job.
Props to his energy levels. Not going to deny that. He made everything sound enthusiastic. He could be like,
he did.
We even added more cables.
If the hardware could have matched his fucking enthusiasm, it would have been crazy. But
it's never been done before.
Just selling it.
It's never been done before.
Never been done before. That second, yes.
He did throw a keyword out that really screwed me up. You know, he threw around that unprecedented, but he only did it once.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Just one time. I think you need to go back. I'm pretty sure there was more than once.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure, you know, anyways, I remember hearing it and just kind of clicking off. Like I had that weird, like PTSD experience. Like,
yep. And you're like, I've got to listen for that word again.
I didn't realize it was CNN. Like
terror. Oh boy!
I was waiting for the scroll across the bottom of the screen too.
Yeah, what am I
First
stopping?
plane hits the tower, you know, like.
So
sorry.
Let's get through the Nintendo stuff because it's there's not a lot, but there's some stuff worth talking about. The new Metroid. I mean, I gotta say, I'm very impressed. Phil had some great things to say about the new Metroid, and it is pretty awesome. We've only waited 14 years, which is unprecedented and never been done before.
All right, turn them off, Billy. Turn them off.
It's yeah. I mean, you got notes. You could do this too.
Why are you giving me 1 second? I mean, now.
Now. So
I didn't turn it off on the stream though. Dang it. Oh well.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Anyways, moving on. Yes, Metroid. Yeah, Metroid.
Damn
Dread. It did take a long time, but I was really stoked when I saw the 2D side scrolling, the updated graphics. Like, I know that there was some like CGI cutscene stuff mixed in. It still looked cool. It looked like you're doing a 2D side scroller, but then you see the boss, and the boss has this super awesome cutscene of look how amazing I am.
Look like,
and then it throws you, and then it throws you right back into the 2D boss fight kind of thing. But it brings me back to the old school Metroid, the Metroid that I loved, you know.
Yeah, and running from that boss and which engages like the cutscenes and the fight sequences, just that classic Metroid, you have to time your jumps perfect and you have to get as far as possible. Like I could feel the anxiety in me from old school Nintendo games that were so freaking hard. Yeah. And I loved it. I've freaking loved it.
I can't stand chase scenes, man. So I know it's perfect. The only thing I can do is I can't justify a Nintendo Switch just to play it. So I'm gonna have to live vicariously through somebody else, or wait for it to show up on PC, or borrow it from somebody. Wink, wink, and play it that way.
I'll be more than happy to give you that experience.
I tell you what, I'll buy the game. Let me play it, and then I'll hand it back to you, the system and the game.
Sounds good to me, man. It's all yours, dude.
Just need to be able to hook it up to my pewter.
Well, get a capture card in your pewter.
Does it have HDMI on the Switch?
Yes.
No, there's
for the dock it does.
I have a light.
Oh
shit. The pores, they're back.
Wow.
All right, so anyways, Jeff, you were saying?
You fucking suck, Jeff. All right, moving on. Yeah, so no Switch Pro was debuted. That's it's kind of sad, man. The thing is, everything industry wide, all the leaks, the hardware, it was all there. I think there was no Steam Pal with the Valve presentation, FYI. I really think because Valve wasn't pushing for a mobile hardware yet, Nintendo didn't have to answer, as well as, dude, the chip shortage is real. And
Yep.
I think if they debut hardware and it becomes a paper launch with Nintendo, that's going to be pretty fucking terrible for their business strategy. But I noticed that a lot of this Nintendo, the game debuts, the Breath of the Wild 2 little trailer they put in there, which looked pretty freaking sick.
Looked
I
good, yeah.
definitely liked it. A lot of the other games they showed were not, I guess, era perfect for the Switch we have. They looked way too good. So I feel like there's a lot of weird shit in the background where Nintendo's releasing photos on Twitter in like 4K from Switch, games like Animal Crossing and whatnot. There's too much evidence out there. There is hardware. I just think there wasn't the right incentive for them to drop the console, because if they don't debut it right now, it's not happening this year. Because
Right.
you have to open pre-orders in like August, September to then send hardware by Christmas. It's Nintendo. Keep in mind, it's still a kids console. They're geared around that Christmas, Christmas time present stuff. So if it's not out now, it's not coming in 21. It's just not. Oh well, moving on. Phil, I don't know if you've seen this, but the Blue Box Game Studios, they keep it's fucking shrouded in mystery, man. They showed some like trailer footage earlier this year, and they said it wasn't the real game. It was reminiscent, but what they have now, they're very confident with, and we've not seen it. They told us outright, we have not seen what they have, and they're very, very happy. But they're not affiliated with Kojima. They're saying it is not Silent Hill, but they keep releasing shit on Twitter to confuse you. Like the game starts with an S and ends with an L. Like so much shit out there points to it being Silent Hill, to weird leaks in other games they've helped create, that the blue box, the PlayStation logos, like all of this stuff is so weirdly Kojima, and there's no official Silent Hill is owned by Konami. There's nothing official out there that says that. So, and Kojima's like, this is normal. Like Death Stranding has blue box like cues in it, and ending credits. There's all sorts of weird shit that basically have this game shrouded in mystery, and people don't know what to take of it. And there's a lot of conspiracy theorists with a lot of different things. I mean, even a damn YouTube channel, they've never put videos up from 2015, but their avatar picture is like hills in fog, which is absolutely traditional Silent Hill.
Right.
God damn it! Like, it just makes me.
It's a good hype train, in my opinion. I think it's good marketing. I mean, they're keeping everybody talking about it. Like, what the hell's going on with this thing? Because everybody is biting at the heels of Hideo Kojima. Like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing?
And he said, like, I'm not doing nothing. But I mean, months ago we covered like a Twitter post of him and his desktop in the background, and it had pyramids and it all tied into Silent Hill. Like even like a post-it note with some shit wrote on it, reference Silent Hill. All of it is just so crazy, but doesn't like point blank say, hey, this is Silent Hill, but it also doesn't not say it. And that's just what they've been doing for months and months and months.
Yeah. Yep. And there was also some interesting stuff around that, because digging down into the conspiracy theories, because once you set the internet afire with rumors, they must dig. But there was talking about like BB Game Studios, Blue Box Studios, maybe a sequel to Death Stranding. There was things about like PT abandoned. There was even a LinkedIn profile that somebody looked up with what was his name, Karaman, whatever. And even in that article, which I thought was interesting, was when they mentioned that like if you translate Hideo from Japanese to Turkish, it becomes Karaman. So whoa, that's got to be something. And he's been what at the company for Blue Box since April of 2014. So
Yeah, and they've worked like with Kojima, collaborated multiple times for many years, but there's no official like, oh yeah, Kojima is totally us and we're doing Silent Hill. Just so much shit lines up that all intertwines, but there's no smoking gun. And I kind of love it in a way.
Well, there was also a previous game. This one always catches my eyes because there was a previous game on Steam called The Haunting Blood Water Curse that was inspired by Fatal Frame, which, by the way, we kind of skipped over.
Oh, we did. Sorry.
There is a Fatal Frame coming to the Switch as well.
It looked great. Terrifying.
Really good. But anyway,
I'll
so
buy
there was
that and
another.
you can play that on the light. How about that, Phil? You can play that one too. Yeah. I'm down for it.
So it seems like there's a lot of things kind of feeding this thing, and I think maybe either the greatest joke ever told is getting put on us, or something's coming out of this, and I think people are catching on. Maybe they weren't ready to announce anything about it. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's a Silent Hill, but they can't call it Silent Hill, but they're going to allude to it, and it's going to be the next Silent Hill. But maybe somebody owns the IP. I don't know.
They're going to throw $1 on a string and whip it out at you and say it's a free $1 if you can catch it.
Not quick enough.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. There's just so much trolling going on with this one developer that it's awesome in a way because they've not lied, and they've also
genius. I think it's absolute genius.
And it's not an easy like, ooh, that can be misconstrued, or oh, this is like it just has the internet by storm and all the right way because it's very calculated and very specific, but not. It's genius.
Well, didn't they even include like because there was Blue Box, there was they even included the what was I fucking thinking? Oh my god. The PS Studios logo, didn't it show up in the little thing that they were teasing on?
It did, and the way they created their logo versus the PS Studio logo, but it was surrounded in a blue hue, just like so many little things tie together.
Little hints.
So yeah, and updates happen pretty much weekly at this point. There's always some little teaser of something. So people, just as they're about ready to say, you know what, screw it, it's not worth my time. And then boop, a little clue comes out and it's like, ah, damn it. And then we get all just ruffled up again. And I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, Fatal Frame. That was another part of the Nintendo Treehouse event. I was super stoked about, but I was blown away. It looked awesome.
Yeah, I was watching it with on my stream, and there were people in the chat like, "You're going to get a Nintendo Switch now, aren't you, Phil?" I was like, "I can't justify a fucking system for 2 games."
That's okay. I'll just give it to you for like a few months or whatever.
I'll just beat the all I need it for is to just beat the game on stream, and then I can hand everything back.
Yeah. I'll buy Fatal Frame. If you want to buy Metroid, it's all yours, man. Take it for as long as you need. Because I got a PC build sitting next to me. I've got plenty of time to spend.
But you have a light. It doesn't have an HDMI output. What does it do? How do you get it hooked up to a HD on a Switch Lite?
I'll figure it out because there is an adapter cable from the USB-C on the bottom to basically make it HDMI, so you can do that.
Oh, nice, sweet.
Yeah. We'll get it figured out. There's a few.
I got a capture device. It just needs to be HDMI.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Fuck yeah,
easy peasy, man. I think the cable's like, I think I found one for $18. They're normally around $30, and they say 1080p, but realistically 720 is fine for the Switch because it's a Switch. Yeah. So it'll work. You'll get what you need. Madden 22, I don't know why this was such a huge freaking deal, but being that we are local Kansas Cityans and Mahomes is on the cover with Brady as friends sitting on a bench that just got dropped earlier. So there's a few different things about this that are kind of special. And, I played Madden in the day. Like Super Nintendo was probably where I found Madden and loved it. And then as I got older, like I love football and all, I just don't really like the sports games because it's just gardens too much energy and people get so extremely dedicated to it. It's not that big a deal to me. But so the new Madden 22 cover has been released today. It's Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes sitting on a bench as friends. And the last time there was 2 MVPs on a cover, was like 12 years ago. It was a long time ago, and they were, of course, like clashing.
Right.
But these are portrayed as friends, and for showing up in the Super Bowl last year, and Mahomes,
I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool, actually.
Brady apologized to Mahomes. Like, I knew there was a friendship behind the scenes, and Brady is a machine. Brady is great. I hate to admit it. He is that good.
Come on, man. There were some questionable calls. Let's not kid ourselves.
There was a shitload of questionable calls.
There was a lot of questionable calls.
Yeah, I felt like we had no chance.
Trying to be generous, just say some.
Oh man, it was so bad. I was so angry at the game, but Brady apologized for his team at the end of it. Of course, he took that fucking ring and he's like, "Sorry about my team, but thanks for that ring, bitch."
Yeah.
He still did what he did. He made his paycheck, and he's awesome and all. But Mahomes is the love of football. He cares for his team. He's our team. We love him. He's building a house like a few miles down the road from me, and
easy
off a giant lake, and you can't get to it. It's gated, and he's got more money than
there's gates. Nobody can climb over those.
No, you can't definitely wave at him and say, Mahomes, I love you.
Definitely don't have a ladder and some rope.
Yeah, definitely don't have a good 100 people that could join me in a second.
That would get you through, but ladder rope isn't happening. There's people at those gates all hours of the day.
If you're gonna go it alone, you better be a ninja. But if you want to be loud, take a crowd.
Yeah, Area 51, that shit.
Don't ever take my advice. Just don't listen.
Full disclosure, do what Phil says. It's going to be great. I will watch it tomorrow morning on the news.
I will not be there. Unlike some people, I'll tell you right now, I won't be there.
yeah, I'll be with you in spirit, but I knew nothing of this event.
Won't even be there in spirit. Nope. I'll be taking my dog for a walk and drinking a bunch of beer, laughing at my dog pooping on somebody else's sidewalk. I don't know.
I'll see it on Twitter. But yeah, so that's the two goats, the greatest.
No. I remember what I was just gonna say. I did think it was really cool that they put him on the bench because as friends together rather than clashing, because that was a really contested Super Bowl, mainly because of bad ref calls, mainly because things kind of felt like they were getting handed off. Tom Brady catches a lot of flack because of deflate,
a lot of things,
but
cheating, all of that,
pretty much everything. But
yeah.
I mean, you have to look at his performance during some games outside of bad ref calls. Everybody always, the refs are in his favor. They're all like, but it's not. It's really not. Like, Tom Brady is a talented quarterback.
He's damn good.
And so is Mahomes. And Chiefs didn't do so hot on some things. I could see the frustration take over on that. So some of it was our fault or Chiefs' fault. Some of it bad calling on the refs' fault. But we could have made it better if some of us hadn't lost our cool during that game. But I understood why they were pissed off. They were getting bad calls left and right. So it was cool to see that at least they could make that Madden cover and kind of like
clear the air a little bit.
Can we move on? Water under the bridge. Let's get it together,
And it was both their second appearance on Madden covers, which
which was pretty cool too, right?
yeah, they're both that good, I think Madden really tipped their hat.
Is that 2 years in a row for Mahomes?
No, Mahomes was like
it was the previous year, so it was like year off.
It's like the third year he's been in twice, and then Brady was on it in 20, so it was like 11 years. But they both been on the cover twice.
Oh no, I was talking about Mahomes. Mahomes has been on it.
Yeah, Mahomes. This is his second time in 3 years,
row, right?
No. They skipped a year.
Skipped a year. That's okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. I was like, they did a year, then they skipped, and then now he's back on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sad that I know this much about it, but apparently it was a big deal today.
Sports ball, dude, and it was a big deal. It just kind of resets the sportsmanship. Sports. Yeah. You're supposed to approach sports with sportsmanship. Like, yes, you got your butt handed to you because of bad calls and this and that and the other and better players, but that doesn't mean you get to run around being a jerk on the field. It's a game. You get paid to have fun. So just go have fun and be friends. And yeah, you're going to have your moments, but just come on now. Don't carry that off the field.
It's 2 years in a row, man. We can't bitch too much.
This is what I like about really good athletes. If they get ticked off on the field and they think that things aren't going down, They go and settle it on the field, and when they get off that field, it's all over. Their best friends, family, come over and have dinner with me, that kind of thing. That's a sportsman. That's an athlete. So it's just cool to see it. That's all.
Did anybody see the new Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Yes, and it looked weird.
Wow. I'm like, I'm blown away. The graphics looked really good. I'm a huge Guardians fan, so obviously the voice acting pissed me off, but I understand they couldn't get the real actors.
Right.
But it looked pretty fun. It had a lot of comedic elements to it. The water, I guess the way the water looked and felt was wrong, but it still was pretty. But the game looked good. The presentation was really fucking hiccupy. Like,
thank you, Billy, for pulling that up.
It was bad.
There was the part. Is this the one where there was like a gelatinous purple cube in it? Did I hear that correctly in this trailer?
I think it was like red.
Like your name.
Red, purple. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was this one, but I saw that and I was like,
What? No, Rocket. So I let Groot
What?
fill out the paper.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, it was kind of weird. But the graphics for the most part looked really good.
It does look good. It kind of looks like, I mean, it gives me the Disney rendition feel, but
It looked really good, but I feel
yeah, no, I'm not shitting on the graphics. I'm just, that's the feeling I get when I see the way they stylize it. But yeah,
I mean, you're taking a cult classic.
that's what,
amazing
like
movie.
this scene right here looked really fun. Being able, and it's so short too.
Yeah, it looked so good. This is a quick trailer. They showed an extended one, I think, today. And there's so many different choices where you can throw Rocket or you can talk Groot out of throwing them and all that, and every choice has a different outcome, different stats, different everything. And I do love that about certain games.
Dude, I just want to play with those guns. I love the dual pistol, like,
and then the jetpack and flying around the enemy. That looks awesome. The moment I saw that on Guardians the first time, I'm like, damn, that would be really cool in a game. So
here's only one thing that I ask, is that as the Star-Lord, I should be able to hit the little Walkman on the side anytime I want and listen to my tunes.
That was shown in an extended trailer.
If they don't allow you to do that, they failed miserably.
They definitely do.
that, and I'm a little perturbed that they didn't.
I know.
Right?
The face is different. It's weird.
It's driving me nuts. The only thing I can see is that's not Star-Lord in my head right now.
Yeah.
But other
than
that, it looks great.
Dax is close. Rocket's close. I
Everybody
don't
else
know.
is fairly close.
Yeah.
I think there was a likeness right issue on the movie itself, and they didn't know what else to do for Star-Lord because I've never read a comic book.
Pretty much.
I mean,
it's coming October.
Off. Like, what?
It's coming October 26th, so it's happening. The game looks good. It's probably going to play really fun. I think it'd be a great one to stream and have a good time. Maybe there's some co-op involved. I don't know, but we'll kind of see how this goes. And it definitely looks like it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of comedy in it, and that's part of the Guardians series. So I think they stuck as close as they probably legally could with Marvel.
Oh, I'm sure.
They probably didn't want to pay Chris too much royalties for ripping his face off and putting him on a video game. Because I mean, this is
just looks kind of like a Disney render of a face, like when or like a Pixar face, kind of a generic.
Yeah. And then Rocket had his like
here's a chin and some hair. Do what?
Rocket had his gigantic gun selection, which was awesome. Reminded me of like a Ratchet and Clank thing for a minute. So I don't know. The take was very 50-50 on if people loved it or not, and we'll see how it goes. I
think it was I think what threw people off was the character modeling for some reason. Like you see something recently, you kind of expect the same thing. It's kind of like the shock I had when they for whatever reason, decided to make the new Ninja Turtles that I hate to acknowledge, but actually exist. And like they just redesigned their faces in a blocky way, and it's like that's not how it
Nope.
works.
Nope.
So I
Not
found the
cool.
gameplay trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Or it's a
And
gameplay first look. So
Yeah, that's the extended one. I think they dropped it today, if I'm not mistaken. It definitely shows a lot more dynamic of how the game flows with the Walkman involved.
where's the Walkman part?
Towards the end.
Damn it. Billy, can you find it? This is all I care about, honestly, at this point.
And it is period correct music.
It does look good. Like, so I like the way they did that. Yeah. So for those cutscenes, they look amazing. Oh. Wait, what happened?
I'm skipping.
Wait, is it a power move?
No, it's before that, Billy. When they're fighting that monster.
I thought I saw him just shooting up in the air with a Walkman in his hand.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's certain times you can cue the Walkman or
There
not.
it is. Yeah, I have seen this. That's the red cube, gelatinous cube I was talking about.
It just felt really pretty buggy. So it's available on PC, most consoles, and I think it's definitely going to be limited by hardware. So obviously play this one on PC. I think with the controller is going to be probably the best experience. Just throw hardware at it. Man, it looks fun though. Dude,
It does look fun. I can't take that away from it. It does look like a lot of fun. Is that it right there?
Time.
So it seems
Yeah.
like the Walkman is like a power move type thing. Like an
Or like
equipment.
strategic point. Yeah, because I think everybody like got armor at that point. So
Yeah.
So because he's playing his Walkman, everybody's got super
everybody's in the mood, you know. Yeah, looks awesome.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Groot looks fun. Rocket looks like a blast. The voices are all off, which drives me nuts, but oh well. And yeah, we have more Guardians coming late this year. There's going to be a Christmas special to kind of prelude the next Guardians movie coming next year. So for those Guardians fans, there is love happening, but give Marvel time.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the studios had to shut down last year, so any productions just now getting started this year.
I mean, shit, we still don't have Black Widow.
Well,
I mean,
and those movies, I mean, people don't realize that usually the movies that are coming out this summer were actually like filmed and produced like a year ago, like
Or more.
Longer.
or
Yeah.
longer, yeah,
Guardians
much
of the
longer.
Galaxy and stuff like that. I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy, when did it release? Like
I don't remember the
well,
first
whatever
one.
year it released, I know it like they started filming like 4 or 5 years prior.
Jesus.
Like it goes back farther than a lot of people expect. Like they usually start filming like probably anywhere from 3 to 5 years before release, and then you got about a year's worth of 6 months to a year's worth of filming, depending on the size of the movie.
I was gonna say, depending on how much CGI too, because of all the
That's why I
rendering.
said depending on the
And
size
it's
of the
a lot,
movie. Like
yeah.
for Guardians of the Galaxy, it'd probably be like a
Lots
year.
of rendering.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit
And
happening.
then you got probably another year's worth of post production and everything else, and then you have a year
Sound
of
design.
marketing and touch ups.
Yep.
So it goes back a lot longer than people realize. It's crazy. And when
So-
you get a whole year that is off because of the world shutting down.
And that throws everying off.
It's
Which,
screwed everything.
unrelated. Did you hear about Tom Cruise yelling out a crew because they weren't do social
Face
distancing?
masks. Oh
Yeah,
my
face mask.
god.
And so it
That
shut
was
down
awful.
production for I don't know a couple weeks, and then somebody got freaking COVID because of that, or shortly after that. I don't know. But he
That
was like
damn
ripping into people.
Scientology.
He's like, "We are the gold standard," and it's like, dude,
Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. God. That dude. Oh man. And he lost his shit too. That that audio is hilarious.
sorry, I didn't mean to digress, but that
You're
shit
good.
cracked me up.
I laughed so hard when I heard that the first time. I'm like, is this dude fucking for real? Oh yeah, it's Tom Cruise. He's 100% for real.
Yeah. I can't
So,
imagine that guy had to
before
worry
we-
about much. Anyways,
Before we dive into Xbox, anybody seen the Loki series yet? The second episode dropped last night.
I haven't watched it
nope.
at all.
Dude,
No
I
spoilers. What can you say?
I've got to put that up there with Mandalorian as far as Disney Plus stuff. I
Really?
was not a fan of WandaVision. It sucked, and then it got good. But I mean, for Marvel stuff, it was okay, barely. And then Captain America: Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier was decent, and then it ended like garbage for me because it was all a PR stunt. But it was decent overall. But man, Loki is like very much Marvel movie quality, very deep, very very good effects.
Nice.
I'm loving it. Yeah. So for those who are
Highly
Marvel
recommended
fans,
then. Disney Plus, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Hashtag not a sponsor.
yeah. So if you don't want to buy it, just let me know. You know, we can work out a switchity switch. But yeah, it came free with my Verizon.
I'll
Okay.
have my lawyers get with your lawyers.
That's fine. We'll exchange some information,
And then we'll pick up salad tomorrow. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. So Xbox.
Why not brisket?
Well, I mean, it's a brisket salad, so
Yeah, extra dressing. You know, I want to feel it.
barbecue sauce, man. You put dressing on a brisket sandwich.
So dumb.
It's a meat.
Is it a sandwich or a salad? I forget.
I don't know. I've lost track.
Words falling out of my mouth. Anyways,
Metaphors, maybe.
S-Boss.
Oh, S-Boss.
Or I mean Xbox or no, X-Boss. No, S-Box.
ET
Box X.
going home.
Series S X.
Yeah, screw the
So-
series consoles, guys. Like, why would you even buy this? Because there's so much support for PC and Game Pass is getting so good. I'm ultimate in it, man. The game library that they dropped at E3 and so much PC support. I've got to say, Microsoft, I'm a fan. I hate that I'm liking it so much, but I thank God there's a lot of PC support there because there's a lot of cool games incoming, and
I need to
man,
check
they're
it out.
gonna
It's
look
been a
so
while
good.
since I looked at it.
Yeah.
There's
So the one thing that really impressed me this year was the Xbox presentation because of the Game Pass stuff and the Bethesda announcements, which I know we'll get into. But those were the big ones for me. When I saw that everything that they were announcing was going to be on PC, I was like,
know. I
oh,
kept
no.
looking. I
You're
kept
sucking
looking.
me in, you
Damn it. And I kept waiting for Xbox Series X exclusive, and it's like, God damn it!
No,
Screw
they
you
did no
then.
exclusives.
No.
Which I hope that makes the fanboys feel sad tonight.
Yeah,
I mean,
as a
it's just like,
PC
you deserve
owner,
it. You deserve
I'm
it.
all about it.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
like,
know,
no-
this is just going to look so much better and work so much better on PC
Of course,
anyway.
because you know that Microsoft sold you a box of junk, you dumbass.
It works okay. Hey, our cloud gaming supports the Xbox One X and all that shit, which tells
Here's-
watered down.
Here's a theory that I have, and you just listen and hold on.
You're correct.
I have a theory that the reason why Xbox is pushing so much to the Game Pass and on PC is they don't want you to buy their console. They don't want to have a warranty return thing that happened a long time ago. So they're like, the fewer that we can ship, the better off we are on the claims, and we can avoid that class action lawsuit. And they're like, so let's just try to sell as few of these as possible by just giving them out the games on PC. So no exclusives. We're done with exclusives.
Yeah. Here's
No
a
more
thought.
console exclusives. We're done.
It kind
Here-
of makes you wonder if the next, like, I know we're quite a few years away from another console, obviously, but it makes
Or
you
not.
wonder if they're going to do away with console after.
That's-
Oh
this
no!
one.
This E3, if anything, I'm glad you brought that up, Billy, because
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. This E3, as I was watching it, it's literally the push to move digital.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of opinions about this. We can get into that in a minute, but mainly I think that it's an absolute push to a digital platform because now they know how to sucker you into buying something you can't physically own, and they can do with you what they will, and you're still going to lose out your money to play a game. So
The
I'm
fact
not
of the matter is, like, if Microsoft is a service, Windows is a service, we all know this. It's been tried and true. They want you in
it's a
their
service, all
ecosystem.
right.
They don't want you to buy hardware. So the fact that all these series consoles to me are the push away from hardware.
To
PC
software.
building is still on the rise. Gaming with PCs is still on the rise, even through COVID and us not being able to find shit, let alone afford it. It's been very tough, but it's still on the rise.
No,
So
Microsoft. I think Microsoft's getting ahead of the game because of the hardware shortage. They're pushing software. There's no reason, I know we're going to get into this later too, but there's no reason to create a whole new operating system to round corners and create new icons unless something is inherently wrong. So I have a feeling that they're trying to trim this up. They realize they're being targeted. All kinds of shit's going on. In the game world, I think there is a very, very higher chance of losing consoles altogether as hardware platforms. And you can just see that by the lack of support from major industries. They're just like, I'd rather not ship out CDs and hardware consoles because, hey, we don't have chips. So let's just convince everybody that software is good. And then we just kind of forget about it like a blockbuster.
Yeah, it hurts to hear it, but all the evidence is out there. It's happening. And
all because you fuckers out there were like, oh, digital downloads are just fine. Now we're gonna lose.
Here it is.
Freaking Zoomers. I'm out.
Yeah, so there's even support on Xbox Cloud Gaming for the Xbox One consoles. And it just reinforces that point that Microsoft is a service. They want to support everything, no matter how well it works. If it kind of works and it's better, like you're going to have stutter, you're going to have lower resolution, but it works, it still exists. And therefore, you don't need to buy a new box, right? And you can just be like, shit, I'll just save up for my PC and then play it in its wondrous glory and schedule my upgrades as I go because it makes more sense and is cheaper in the long run. I said it. It's cheaper in the long run.
No, I as much as I love to shit over Microsoft, this is a smart move. Business wise, I can't crap on them for making a wise decision. And honestly, their E3 presentation was so good. I was really impressed by. I was impressed by how they were doing the Doom Eternal next gen upgrade. With the ray tracing. There was some crap in there. I was happy to hear about Starfield. God damn it, Todd Howard! Please don't screw it up. And then of course we got a little bit of an update on Halo Infinite, which actually looked better this time. Thank God. Still doesn't look great, but better. Looks better.
Yeah, really wasn't gameplay footage this time. It was trailery, but kind of not.
They knew there was something wrong.
Yeah, that game is gonna be released in chunks. We just know there's DLC for the whole game that's not going to be available day one. But if it plays good,
2077.
Yeah, it'll run ish, on things. Sorry, Xbox One X owners, but it'll happen.
I love that.
So wow, yeah, that Xbox Bethesda showcase, holy cannoli. Forza Horizon 5. I'm not a big Forza fan, but I gotta say that the off-road stuff they're adding, the crazy pinata level, and it's all in Mexico. It looks phenomenal. Just when they stop the car and then just pan around to the graffiti on the buildings, the plants, the forestry, the jungle, it looks incredible, and it's a freaking racing game. That's what blew my mind. It's not an open world exploration game. It's a freaking racing game, and it looked that good.
A lot of people were really excited about Forza 5, and I mean, if you're a racing fan, I mean, I'm a Gran Turismo guy, right. But I liked what I saw out of Forza 5. I can see why people like it, but I don't know. I'm always partial to Gran Turismo just because I'm a fanboy, and I can't wait to see that game. But yeah, no, it looked incredible. And another one that stuck out to me was Stalker 2. Sorry. That game looked pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, except for next year release, but damn, it looked good.
There was quite a few of them that were next year releases. But I mean, if that's the kind of stuff we're gonna get next year,
that's fine. I'll wait. Take your time. We got plenty of shit coming up on Game Pass and other things. Like, we still got to find hardware for those who want PS5s, and I'm not paying over MSRP. I refuse.
Yeah, well, and not to jump around, but the PC presentation with the indie games, there was plenty there that I put on my wish list. I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna play that. Ooh, yeah. you know. So I was happy about the indie games, but uh, you know, the Xbox conference was better than most of the rest of the conference.
Yeah, E3 was just Xbox Bethesda E3 in my
I,
opinion.
it was Xbox, Bethesda, and Nintendo, and then which Nintendo was surprisingly short, which kind of pissed me off. It was only like 40 minutes, I think. But
Yeah,
we got
they
to
did
see a lot of
extend it.
games. I mean, they shuffled through a lot of games. So I would say it was like, you know, Xbox kind of reigned for a little bit, and then Nintendo was pretty cool. But the Razer guy, I'm sorry, man. That dude takes the cake. Like for the entire conference, I don't care what you say. It was the most ultimate extreme, unheard of, amazing, ultra thing ever.
So extreme.
So extreme. And anyways, but yeah, it was cool. I thought Stalker 2 looked cool. I like the idea of adding the ray tracing into Doom Eternal. They had a Starfield I'm looking forward to hearing more about. We didn't really get a whole lot of information, but
Other than it's an exclusive.
and we had to listen to Todd Howard. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do that. I didn't. I was working, thank God. So I'm just like, cool, moving on, and did other shit.
That guy. Anyway, but I like the idea of it, and I hope it succeeds despite Todd Howard. But yeah, at least he didn't say something ridiculous like 16 times the definition.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Whatever.
But I mean, I think if you have a 10 series graphics card, you're good. And I know we'll get into PC stuff later, but I think the hardware recommendations for a lot of this, if you've built a mediocre PC within the past few years, you're going to have a great time on all of these titles, and it's going to look better and play better on a PC anyway, because the fact that PC is supported with these games tells me it's probably derived from PC into consoles,
You know,
because there's a lot of shared architecture. So I think it's just a good time to be a PC gamer.
No, and that's a good point that you brought up that I was thinking of but couldn't remember. But yeah, no, these what is it, a 1080 Ti? So it's like an 8-core CPU and a 1080 Ti. I mean that's as mid as you can get at this point, considering all the other cards that are quote unquote out there that you can buy eventually sometime.
Right.
But I mean that's pretty badass. So yeah, I'm glad that they're pushing all that stuff out to PCs, so that way if you've got the power, you'll be able to, you know, crank it up if you want. But I'm glad that the min specs are actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and this is across the board, 1080p, 60, you know, and these are high spec in game, like, you know, maybe not ultra settings, but good settings, and you're covered. So if you're still gonna wait for another year or so to get another graphics card, you're fine. You can still enjoy this. There's nothing wrong with 1080p. You don't have to go to 1440 or 4K. I think that's a little bit erroneous in most situations. But if you're, you know, if you're a Microsoft Flight Simulator and you want to play that thing right, yeah, it's going to take some serious hardware. That Flight Sim will cripple anything, no matter how good it is, on 4K. I mean, the system I'm building right next to me, it will cripple it in 4K, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
it cripples my system on
high
settings, but I can still go pretty high. But
wait, on Microsoft Flight Simulator, yeah,
yes, yeah. If you do full spec settings at 4K, I'm not going to hit 60 FPS in my system, and that's crazy.
Why 4K though? On a, what are you running, like a 27-inch monitor or something like that?
Yeah, there's no reason, but just to know, like, cool, I'm future proofed ish for a while.
Oh, if you want to get there,
yeah. So I mean, 4K now, realistically, I'm going to be 1440. I just picked up a new monitor, and I just want to try that because I think that's fine. I don't want to do 4K, but if games are like engineered for 4K now, 1440 will be just fine, and I hope that carries that same mindset for a while.
1440 will carry you a long distance right now, especially if you're on a small monitor size. I know we've talked about this into the dirt, but unless you've got a super wide screen monitor, there is almost no reason for you to go 4K because you're
literally, your eyes aren't helping you at
Yeah,
all.
you're so close. Yeah, you're so close to the screen already, and at a distance with a 27-inch screen. I mean, you could sit 4 feet away from that thing, and you would still have all the resolution. You could sit 1 foot in front, and you're not going to notice the difference between 1440 and 4K. I mean, you really got to get up on that thing.
Right. And still, we're literally hoping the monitor is truly spec'd for that difference. If you have a Retina monitor that can handle above 4K, you're seriously looking at your smartphone in a 27-inch display, and you cannot tell the difference.
I mean,
But
I've been starting to look somewhere around like trying to find a native 1440 OLED, and bleh.
oh, OLED, hell no. Oh my
you're
God.
gonna pay for that, but it looks really good.
Yeah, OLED is like the difference. HDR and OLED are like the real difference. Screw resolution. If it's above 1080p and you have OLED and real like the latest HDR, your eyes are gonna be more happy than if you swung for 4K.
It's
In
I
that
never
same
thought you could F an eye socket, but then I saw that and I was like, wow,
Shit. Damn it, why is it so expensive?
I just got poked in the eye.
Yeah, that OLED is man, I hate to say it, but it's kind of worth the money because of how good it is. It's a true generational leap in TVs.
Well, it's like when plasmas came out, man. They were a generational leap, and at the time they were a generational leap. The lifetime wasn't great on them, but towards the end of the life cycle of plasma TVs, I mean, I still got mine, and it looks just as good as the day I bought it. Maybe a little dimmer, but not that much dimmer. And it doesn't have burn-in or anything like that. So I don't know, man. It feels like this is the new leap, like you said. Like OLED is kind of the way to go going forward.
It's funny, all the manufacturers, damn it, and you're doing it again. The nano QLEDs, the nano LEDs, all of that shit is just a band-aid for you don't want to pay for OLED. But OLED is like the actual line of, yes, you have a actually high-end TV.
Yeah, so the QLED that Samsung released is actually not that bad, and in some ways it's even better than, or it's in some ways it's better than OLED, and then in other ways OLED is better than QLED. So Samsung did a really good job. I forget the specs off the top of my mind, but I remember going through the specs and I was like, well, there's some trade-offs both ways, and sometimes, I mean, honestly, you just can't go wrong with either at this point. I wouldn't, but OLED kind of takes the cake, just because if it's going to be black, that means the thing's off. So you're done.
Yeah, if you're watching anything space related, that's where OLED, there is no comparison. But normal, like Netflix watching, normal TV, like QLED, good spec QLED is fine. But yeah, you and I both know, just like audiophiles in general, you listen to most music that's just like generic. Yeah, cheap speakers and expensive speakers, there is a difference, but is it worth the price difference? That's arguable. But you throw in lossless audio formats with a real surround and real bass, there is no freaking comparison.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all depends on your setup, and the money obviously plays into that, because
all this means is that even though these more expensive TVs with better quality coming out are going to make other cheaper, they're going to make more cheaper TVs as everybody else starts going for the fancy thing.
So eventually OLED will be cheaper. Like
pretty soon you'll be able to get an LED 4K TV for what, $300? Like they'll be like, yeah, it's 50 inches, 55. There you go, $30, $300. You know, and you'll just be like, holy crap!
You're like, cool. I didn't want an 80-inch anyway, you douchebags. I'll take that 50-inch full spec.
I even noticed that the 65-inch class TVs have come down considerably by like maybe $400 to $500 since I last priced out a TV. So it's pretty impressive. And those are like ultra high def, you know, super whatever, LED, whatever, ghosting, anti LED mapping, on off back panel, cool stuff that they always talk about that was total sales crap.
Yep.
They've come down considerably and made them way more affordable. I think I want to say it was a 65-inch LG, LG or Samsung. I don't know, one of them, and it was $699.
Damn.
And it had more features than my plasma. And I was like, well, son of a biscuit.
Yeah.
I found some 70 inches, really nice ones for like $600-700.
So my only problem when it comes to a TV is I prefer anything THX certified or that I can get THX certified.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know this, but when you buy a TV, you can call THX and have them come adjust and calibrate your TV for $150-200.
Yep.
And they'll come and THX certify it. Well, if it can be certified.
Yeah.
But they'll come out and do the adjustments for you. And it's like a couple $100, I think. I don't remember the exact time.
It's a massive difference.
They go into your factory settings. They actually factory adjust your TV for color calibration as best
Not
as
your
they can get it.
menu, like the actual BIOS of your friggin' TV.
Yeah,
like
they get right into the hardware of your TV.
Yep.
They give you a printout. They give you a full spectrum scan of all the colors that are possible on the TV, the adjustments they made to calibrate the TV, the recalibration or the re-measurements that they took, and they show you the gamut, the color gamut. They give you all the information that you need to know about your TV. And if you just happen to buy a shit TV and pay $200 to have them calibrate it, they're going to tell you, hey, it's a piece of shit.
$50 to show up, and I'm not touching this thing.
Yeah.
But damn it, Phil, you're getting me in this again. And this is why when I bought my plasma, it was not expensive, but it was the top of the line plasma, but it wasn't a smart TV. If you can, which it's impossible to find, a non-smart TV, because if you have somebody THX come out, certify, adjust everything on your TV, and your TV's like, oh, hey, we got an update. Don't fucking do the update. Just don't
not do
fucking
the update.
do it. Because that's another $200 wasted.
Don't connect your TV to the goddamn internet. If you got to do it through a device that does it for you first.
Yes.
So you can shut the fucking device off and not your TV. My dad just recently got a TV and it's got the Alexa Google Assistant built in, and I got to go to his house on Father's Day. By the way, if you didn't know, Father's Day is this Sunday, so
take care of your dad.
Call your dad, go see your dad. If you don't have your dad around, pay your respects and God bless him. But it's Father's Day, you know. Make sure you do what you can.
Find a dad, have fun.
So I'm going to go over to my dad's house. He wants me to help hook up his whole home theater again because he got a new TV. And I'm thinking, it's just an HDMI plug. That's the way I set it up.
Yeah.
But that's okay because I get to listen to the music, and we're gonna thrash and get that all set up. He's got a it's an OLED 55-inch. I can't remember the name of the model. I'll have to look it up later because it's tucked away in my emails. But so I get to go check that thing out. And I looked up the model and I was like, man, it's got Alexa and Google Assistant built in.
Damn it.
Like, we're not plugging this thing into the internet.
Nope.
I'm going to calibrate it, and I'm going to tell you to not ever touch that again.
Yes. I know we kind of went down the rabbit hole, and it is close to pee break. Should we go for it? Because I want to talk one last Xbox Microsoft thing when we come back.
Yeah. I mean, all right, we'll be right back.
Well,
ET's got a hit Halo.
And we're out.
I've been a wild rover for many of years, and I've spent all me money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold in great store. No, I'll never play the wild rover no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. No, never, no more. I went to an ale house I used to frequent, and I told the landlady me money was spent. pocket and sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes open wide with delight. She said, we have whiskey and wines of the best, and the words that you told me were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I go back to me parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And as they forgive me enough times before, no, I'll never play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more.
The National Weather Service of Kansas City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the northeast Missouri until 1 a.m. At 6:30 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located 5 miles northeast of Kansas City and moving at 1.2 miles per hour. This is a dangerous storm, people. Prepare immediately for large destructive birds capable of producing significant damage. People outside should seek shelter and expect this zombie storm to possibly last forever.
Zombie storm is on the way. See some shelter. Yes, you stay. The zombie
county town one morning last July. From a boring green came a sweet Colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet from her two bare feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing out, sure I shook myself for to see I was really there. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met at the county down. As a young would sped, sure I scratched my head and I looked with a feeling rare. And it says I to the passerbys, the maid with the nut brown hair. He smiled at me and he says he, that the gem of Ireland's brown. Young Rosie McCann from the banks of the Banks, she's the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met at the county down. In my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shone bright and my hat cocked right for a smile from my nut brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, and my blouse was a rust-colored brown. Till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met at the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met at the county down.
Hey guys, welcome back. We appreciate you chiming in. We're just got into a little bit nerds deep with some TV architecture, history, and what's good about current TV.
Yeah, did you know that your TV can spy on you? It has a microphone and a camera.
If it's a smart TV,
the camera is hidden behind the backlight panel.
You're fucked.
There's also Alexa and Google Assistant. By the way, if you didn't know, the Alexa Assistant turned on its little sidewalk Wi-Fi, right? So if you didn't disable it and opt out,
yep,
you're broadcasting Wi-Fi now. Congratulations,
your neighbors love you.
We did it. We did it, everybody.
We're helping out everyone. Go.
They ain't got shit on Snowden.
And people are worried about getting injected with a microchip. Ha!
Wait, micro
We
what?
bought them all already. So, what about that freaking Hellblade 2, Phil? Did you see that freaking?
I did
Oh
see.
my god!
I did see Hellblade. It looked great.
They were honest. I did appreciate that.
The honesty I appreciated as well.
But
and that's what kind of charmed me into the game even further. I was like, finally somebody's being real. But it did look cool.
Yeah, I love the 12K assets that they took of Iceland, and they still have like 2 teams, audio, video team out in Iceland, just grabbing assets and basically mapping Iceland for this. I believe it's like 8th century or something that Hellblade 2 is basically fixated in. And what I found kind of shitty is they showed footage of this to display how good next gen was and how powerful the Series X was, and we were like, oh shit, that looks amazing. The facial features were unparalleled. I'd never seen anything like that.
Coming out sometime.
Yeah, maybe 22, maybe 23. I don't know. But they were honest this time. They showed behind the scenes. They called it a montage.
Yeah.
And I got to say that I'm pretty blown away by, I think when this thing is finally complete, it's going to be crazy. I hope it's not a series exclusive. I think it's probably going to be on PC. Let's just be honest. Microsoft is moving everything to PC. So I don't know what this game is about, but it looks badass. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to download.
So
that was weird. That was like. Do what?
What game so I can pull it up?
Hellblade 2.
Yeah, it's the one that just dropped like a day or two ago.
I
No,
There's
today.
a part of me though that doesn't necessarily mind, because he even mentioned that, like, hey, we're hoping to bring like some kind of demo. But it would be cool even if it was a series game, as long as it's done well. And the reason I say that is, think of like a good Telltale game, like Tales from the Borderlands or something like that. Even though it came out in seasons or episodes,
Mhm.
like I would be cool with that, just as long as the story and the gameplay and the
Right.
graphics, like there's no compromise, and
Hello,
you keep
everyone,
it like
and welcome
full
to our
bore.
brand spanking new Ninja House
What did they
in
say? It was like
Cambridge.
super brutal. So it's like, okay, like give
So
it,
you're-
give it,
Yeah, you're singing the song of my people. Yes, please.
Will
Look,
you
oh yeah,
follow
here we
me?
go. Here we go. Yeah. I mean, it just looked cool, and I was just like, damn. Like, did Xbox Series X just take a point?
Yeah, I know. We said this initially, like, oh shit, if the games look this good, I might be looking at Team Green, but
Well, I think this is using the real world assets. Was that
I
Unreal
think
Engine? Did it say
yeah,
Unreal Engine 5?
I think they teamed up with Epic, which would make it Unreal 5, and I'm pretty sure it is Unreal 5.
Yeah, so Unreal Engine 5 just released this thing where now you can import realistic environments as
8K assets. Yep.
and there was a guy demonstrating it. You could go float down an Australian river, and only so far as the assets would allow, but still, that's a chunk of the river you could just plop into a game and have people
That's nuts.
canoe down it.
And
Also,
the way the water
Yeah, yes, it did.
and this is just initially. They have
No,
so
no, no, Jeff, I can prove it to you. So the water that you were talking about earlier on in the trailer,
uh-huh.
where you see it lapping up on the shore, that's a real asset. That's a actual environment asset, and it's just tricking you.
Super not just realistic, it is
What a
real.
great job! Like, yeah, it looks awesome.
It's essentially getting it to where you can upload. I mean, for lack of a better explanation, but upload photos of places and use those in ways in the game versus creating assets like digitally.
Right.
But not in that simple of terms. Obviously, it's much more complicated. But
Sure, but if you've seen the way they're formatting and developing through Unreal Engine 5, because I've watched hours of just, hey, this is how you import assets, this is character development, and how easy it is just with the canned stuff they include for free. It's impressive what they've done. I mean, hats off to Epic. I know they've done some pretty shitty stuff in the past few months, but Unreal Engine 5 looks pretty insane.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, with the with the visual coding and everything like that, I mean, it's awesome.
It looks really good. I've
I
got
haven't
nothing.
messed with 5 yet, but I really want to. I haven't had the
But I have a feeling, but I have a feeling that Hellblade 2 is utilizing some of that. So I would be okay with that. If it looks as good as that little drop they did, and we get to play and we get to experience like really cool graphics like that, especially if they're using like the real world assets and stuff like that. Dude, I'm totally going to be hooked. There's no way
Yeah.
around it.
Same here. I mean, if we're treated to something, the true power of Unreal Engine 5, and I feel like this game, because it's taking so long, they're realistically developing this game on this engine and taking full advantage of it.
It's funny that you mentioned that taking so long minute, because we've been kind of ripping on Cyberpunk for really screwing that shit up and trying to rush it to market. But I honestly feel like we're kind of still feeling that repercussion of last year. And so I feel like as people get back to the work that they got to do at the office with the intranet and everything like that, things are going to produce a lot faster rather than uploading and downloading large files.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to softball their release date, which is okay.
So I was kind of pissed off, but I was also kind of understanding that a lot of these games that we're seeing aren't going to be out till next year because they haven't had anybody to really work on it. And the work that they're able to do on it is really slow back and forth. So It's kind of like, I just did my work for 10 hours. Let me upload 120 gigs to you, and it'll be there in the morning when you wake up. And then you let me know tomorrow, like when you finished. And
when
can you imagine passing all those assets back and forth just because you made small little changes to make a good game? It's frustrating when you're in, especially when you're in a production environment and the person's right over there and you just drop it over in their folder, and then they can pull it up and do whatever because bam, it's right
And
there.
they can be like, "Hey, did you know you fucked this up?" Like
Exactly.
that's
And
easier
then,
rather
bam,
than
let me shoot that
you
back
got
to you. Can you fix
3
that?
kids behind you. It's
It's-
shit. I gotta drop
the
them off at
developer-
daycare. My dog's barking. Like if you're at home, like that's a whole different dynamic, and it takes a lot longer.
I can tell you right now, the first time you understand game development is as you as a programmer and somebody who does art direction and graphics meet. And then the programmer's pissed at the graphic designer. The graphic designer's pissed at the
Pissed off
programmer.
the
They're like, you know
programmer.
what? We need somebody else to help out with these graphics because we're too busy arguing about what the game should look like.
Yeah.
Because I, as a programmer, can only do so much with your art.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you have a vision, but we got to actually make it like ones and zeros, asshole.
It's I was making it was a bad joke, but it's just the idea that like if a graphic designer comes to you and says, "Hey, can we make a game around this?" As a programmer, you say, "Yes, we can do anything." And then they're like, "Okay, well, so can you make a spell?" And you're like,
6
"Yes,
months?
we can do anything." And they're like, "Okay, but we don't like that spell." And you're like, "We can do anything." And they're like, "Yeah, no, we okay, so no more reading scrolls. We want to go back to the spells." Of course.
Yep,
Any fucking time
absolutely.
you want. By the way, do you have anything?
Yeah. Do you know what the hell you want so I can
I would
actually
like to
do
see
something
some
with
images, some storyboards.
it? Yeah, please.
You know, like
something.
I'm over here designing an engine and some AI, and you guys don't even know what the main character looks like.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
how
by
am
the
I supposed to
way-
get into your art? How am I supposed to salivate as an artiste?
Mm.
Anyways,
Well, that's the
sorry,
tough
I was
thing.
going through some PTSD
Well,
right
and
there.
now with games how they are nowadays, you got not only are you dealing with the graphic designers, you're dealing with the 3D modelers and the riggers.
Marketing, production,
oh,
and
God.
motion cap.
Marketing, shareholders, that's a whole nother fucking ball of
And the
wax.
developers
Oh,
are just
God.
like, we can
Meanwhile-
do anything.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm in the back finishing my shit, being like,
Oh, finally I can
"Are they
breathe.
gonna put this on a CD or not?"
Yeah. Okay, cool. It's less than 60 gigs, right? And you're like, oh, bitch, it is 500 gigs.
Well,
Okay, we need
sorry.
to cut that down.
I kind of made my age apparent. Are they gonna put this on a Blu-ray double side anytime soon? Like,
Yeah.
is it gonna fit? Like, can we get it
Digital
on 100
download.
gigs? How do we beat Modern Warfare?
No,
Oh,
do you remember the black CDs for
Do what?
PlayStation? The black CDs for PlayStation.
Yep. Yeah, that was huge DRM protection. Let me tell you, huge.
Yeah. It was black.
And that's it.
Yep.
It was just the color of the plastic.
Certificate of
It was so
authenticity.
fucking funny too. I remember going over to my friend's house and he's like popping a PlayStation disc into his PC. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm burning a PS1 game," and I was like, "What?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, dude, they're just CDs, man."
Yeah.
Like, you want
put
one?
My freaking car radio, and it's like, hey, you got all the music now. And it's like, wow, there is not shit going on here.
That was the first time. Oh, I probably shouldn't say this, but I think we're out of the statute of limitations. But that's how I got the first Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That's a good one to have copied. That was a fun game in the day.
If I could
Shit.
only find the CD, now I know. You know. Didn't we,
Hey,
already we did talk about that hack. Never mind.
We did see new snowboarding. That's cool.
We did. Yes, I thought of you actually in particular when I saw that. I was like, "Oh, great, snow!" And then I was like, "Oh, wait, Jeff probably likes this game."
Yeah, Jeff probably liked that fucking pleb.
I thought the word was weeb. Is it
No, that's
weeb?
fitting for sure.
No. What'd you think? What'd you think? I thought it looked good. Looked okay.
It looked good. I don't think it looked as fun as like SSX Tricky or anything, but obviously it's tough to tell till you put your fingers on the joysticks and go to town. It's hard to tell.
and you
It's been
start-
like what 20 years since a good snowboarding game. Shit, it's been a while.
You put your fingers on the joysticks and you start doing the Z's and the J's.
The Z's and
It's,
the J's.
serpentine on the sticks. Yeah.
Yep. Just
I
mash.
guess
them,
they call that rotational velocity.
I remember playing. Those games, I remember playing those games, doing a jump off of a cliff, and literally just going,
yeah, and you did all the tricks.
yeah, just running my hand over the joystick, like do something.
You're doing great.
Good job.
2 billion score in one jump. Woo.
You got points.
Excellent.
And then I don't land it.
Damn it. Yeah, it was fun, and I would do it again. So it's okay. Hey, Phil, holy
Yeah.
shit. Let's get into some PC stuff.
Sure.
Did you hear about the big little processors coming out in the next gen AMD architecture? Dude, I thought of you. I immediately thought of Cell, and that is 100% a future revision of Cell in Ryzen that's going to be done right. It's going to be easier to produce these chips. They're going to 3D stack them. It's going to be nuts, man.
So yeah. So there's this is a lot to condense down on something we
Yes,
don't
it is.
know enough about. But in theory,
Because
yes,
AMD's
it's like a Ryzen processor with snacks. Like it just has all these little bonus features sitting right on top of one chip. It
this is all speculation, but how the small and big chips work as it has in the past is you have certain data throughputs that these chips or processor cores are good at. So graphics will be offloaded on certain things, data crunching will be offloaded on certain things. And my point is I think the Infinity Fabric issue that is plagued Ryzen. Now we see Ryzen processors now as great, and they are great. But the next generation, they have to combat this Infinity Fabric because Intel uses raw horsepower, heat, I don't know, amperage, the watts to boost their really good 14 nanometer process to higher clocks to make a single core perform so well. Now, these mini and these small and big processor cores and these new chips, in theory, the small cores will produce a much higher frequency and a better throughput, defeating the Infinity Fabric issue we have currently. That's my take. That's my thought. We're moving obviously into DDR5, which is a whole different fucking argument, and I don't think we have time for all that noise. But what do you think, Bill?
well, so I think you were pretty spot on to the comparison to the Cell broadband engine. It's not the same, but you can consider it that way. It's working in parallel, but it's working on a decision tree based on whatever sort of parameters that are proprietary to the chip, right? So we know that Intel's already doing this with Alder Lake. That's everybody's knowing that shit.
And it doesn't work very well, obviously.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder what they've done differently and whether or not they're being able to get it to work, what the heat processing would be when you stack on stuff like that. And it also takes me back to a long time ago when there was where are they talking about? They were talking about writing data to holographic cubes, right? So we're getting to this weird processor where they're like, all right, so we can't do the holographic cube for storing data, but we can do the holographic stacking of all these processors on each other, and then we'll just chain all the instructions down and we'll pretend that it's a cube. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just freaking out. But I think it's going to be good. I just don't know how good, and it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
the stated specs and potential is all there. It's just how much of that is true.
And this is AMD, so they're always pushing for the future. And I'm just going to say it and call it what it is. AMD is core happy. Where Intel, you spend all this money and you get 8 cores right now. I'm talking current gen.
8 cores, 16 threads. They always double thread their cores now. Yeah, that's pretty standard right now.
Yeah, where for less money, I mean, I'm about to run a 12 core and that's overkill. And then there's a 16 core still in just the Ryzen 5000 series, the Ryzen 9 16 core, and that's not even counting Threadripper. But all these cores are, circled around. They're Infinity Fabric, and they all operate the same for argumentative sake. Now, the way these big little cores work is depending on the usage, depending on workload, and depending on instructions. And the beauty of, let's say it's a 12 core, you might have 6 cores. Let's say it's a 16 core, just because 8 cores is easy to kind of digest because that's the standard. Sure. Big 8 core as a normal
Right.
CPU, and then these little 8 cores that will handle high frequency, like gaming-esque performance,
Yeah.
rather than data crunching, like, you know, your decoding video and all of that. That's
Your
going to
main
require
cores,
much
you're
more stuff.
basically you're taking bigger tasks. The main cores will handle the bigger tasks, but the little
Yes.
math calculations, they spit over to the threads and they say, "Hey, you just tell us what to do," and then boom, they're just like,
Boom,
"Okay,
boom,
we'll
boom.
plug that in and fire it."
Exactly. Small instructions. Yeah.
Literally
like
what they do,
gaming.
and it's all transistors, by the way.
All of it is. It's how you organize them and
That is
what
a
they do and how they
three-pronged
work.
device if you've never seen one.
Yeah. Off, on,
Off
depending.
on.
Yep.
That's it. That's off on.
Yep. And there's gajillions of them because
Off
we're
on and depending. Yeah, probably.
yeah. Yeah, I know.
I think you nailed it right there. Off on.
I
And
kind of
maybe.
did freaking do that.
It's not
accident.
quite quantum, but sure.
It's quantum-ish.
It's
So I don't know how this works. AMD is very tight-lipped because this kind of stuff Intel can work on now,
well, yeah.
and Intel can make
Intel's-
something in 4 years that works.
Yeah.
So AMD is very tight-lipped on their stuff.
Either
They
they're
are
catching up
doing it.
or they're already ahead of the game. They just don't want anybody to know about it. But somehow a little leak gets out and a little birdie says, "Hey, we got this really cool thing coming up and it's going to be great." And we're like, motherfucker. I think they're already. Why would they bring it up if they didn't already? Like, if they've already done the patent, that was 2 years ago, right? I think it was
19, December 19.
Yeah. Okay. So close enough. So they've already been working on this shit. They were just like, "Oh shit, we got to patent this because Intel's doing their shit."
Guaranteed that's how it worked with AMD.
Here we find out
Always
Intel's
patent
doing
that
this,
shit
and
later.
AMD's like, wait.
No, that was one of those patents we thought might work, and then it's like 8 months later, like it's happening, and you're like,
No.
shit.
How awesome will it be to see if like Intel comes out and says, "Look at what we just did," and then AMD comes out right after and says, "Yeah, we're already like 10 years ahead of them." Check
Hey,
this out.
I remember
And it's only
2018.
$400.
Oh shit. By the way, you need GDDR6 DRAM, and you're like, oh fuck, that shit's expensive.
Yep,
But
time to
it's
get that new
AMD, I love it.
motherboard. Okay.
Fine. We accept it.
Currently, my PC will sell at above what I have actually paid for it. So sure, yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be down for a few months, but I assure you, I'll be back. Financial decisions come first.
This hybrid architecture is been used before, and it was tough to develop for, but when it was developed properly, it was way ahead of its time. This is all Rambus architecture,
Yep.
stolen, pirated, formulated to work better for mass market, and what do you know? It takes years, but it works. And that's my aluminum hat. It's coming off. AMD did drop a couple new GPUs this past couple weeks, and the
You're not
link
going to bring out the
one-
fucking liquid cooled ones. You are going to bring out the liquid cooled ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 6900 XT liquid cooled. It is only available to your builders, your mass market companies that
Pre-builds.
pre-builds. That, thank you. Struggling.
I know words.
Words need more burrs. Yeah, I think the frequency is like 150 plus megahertz more on the overclock side. It's whoop-de friggin' do. I know 6900 XT does game very well in like 3 games compared to NVIDIA, and then NVIDIA is like wipes the floor with everything else. AMD's coming out with new firmware for their GPUs, and it is going to probably accelerate them another 10-ish% across the board,
Right.
multiple generations. So AMD's great at that. In the Radeon side, the CPU side, it works. Radeon side, they fix that shit later. It's like they take a cyberpunk page. But the cards are gaming well. The pricing is very well. The availability is there. Every time I go to Micro Center,
They got the chips.
the Team Red cabinet's full, and then the Team Green cabinet, you have like some Quattro shit from 3 years ago that's just chilling in there, and you're like, why do you even have that shit? Nobody wants that. But
Hey man, some little kid building his first computer wants that shit. That's like,
Look,
okay,
ridiculous.
let me
prices.
just pause for moral clarity.
Okay.
So if I was a dad and I had, like a 10-year-old kid, he was like, I want to build a computer. I want to be a gamer. I would take him and make him buy shitty parts. So be like, hey, see, you should have saved up your money and built a pro rig like your dad. But no, you're a little piece of shit. You're a bad son.
You suck.
But then turn around and say, it's because I love you and I wanted to teach you a lesson. And that is, you can't build a good computer with shitty parts. But
And here's your
you
Christmas
wanted a
gift.
computer so bad, right? You wanted a computer so bad. So you got
Time
one.
to play Fortnite.
Now learn how to deal with it.
Patience is a bitch, and you don't ever
and
get
be like,
it.
and be like on the forehead.
Yeah,
I love you, son.
I do love you.
Now go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, fuck off, but I love you.
Sorry. All right, I had to get it off my chest. I'm just saying that, like, if as I was a kid, I remember mowing lawns for an entire summer. And the first computer I built was a Pentium 2 with MMX technology, 333 megahertz. Woo! I could play Diablo, man. And it was just like that experience. But I had to save up the entire summer to like get that money to get those shitty parts when everybody else was like miles away from me. But it didn't matter. I had my own computer and I could play shit on it, especially Doom 2.
Yeah. And it worked, and you did it yourself, which all your other friends had got it for Christmas. And yeah, I mean, that means a lot.
I still have that processor too. That's the sick part.
Oh man,
we dude, when you come over next time, we really need to go down to the PC museum. I got some fun shit to show you.
I got asked last time, but we were running low on time, and I kind of popped in. But yeah, we do. We need to go to the PC museum. I need to fire up the old Vapor phase change rig and see if we're going to do something with that one day.
We can try to overclock a Pentium 2.
Take
off the plastic casing, just
negative 40 degrees C. You can crank it as high as you want.
Dude, we might as well destroy the board. There's nothing else I'm going to do with it at this point.
5 gigahertz. Fuck it. We're going to do it.
I used to run Apache, but it was like a really old version. Like it was a shitty email server. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Sorry. It is cool that they're doing like liquid cooled graphics cards, like just like out of the box, kind of like hook it up and there you go. I think that's nice. An AIO style setup.
It works. I mean, you're running it. I'm running it. About to. AIO is not like true open loop water cooling, but I also don't want to look like stress over my shit running overnight and it pop a fucking hose and then it's a major problem and I've just melted down 3K in hardware that super quick.
Well, if you're running anything overnight, I mean, this is just general PC awareness, but if you're going to keep something up and running overnight, don't put water in it. If you're not able to turn it off and let it sit and overnight, then you're looking at server material there, something that is designed to run constantly. A lot of people forget that, like your PC, your regular day-to-day PC is not meant to be on all the time.
Yeah, it goes into rest mode for a reason.
Oh, rest mode is the worst.
It is, but it's designed that way.
It used to be. Let me rephrase. It used to be, especially if you had a solid state drive. Like I remember when the first like 60 gig solid state came out.
Freaking toast your drives, dude.
Rest mode, or what was the hibernate?
Hibernate, yeah.
Hibernate and rest mode. You would toast your SSD unless you turned on a special error correction.
It's something stupid.
I forget what it was called because
no one knew
I don't have to think about it anymore.
And totally ruined it.
Yeah,
it's like $300 on a hard drive.
$250 on a 60 gigabyte, and it got toast. Thankfully, it happened like literally that first day. So it was just like, okay. And they sent me a replacement. And they said, don't forget to turn the trim setting on. That's what it was. It was the trim.
Yeah.
And I turned that on. No problems. I'm like, okay.
How was that not a red fucking sticker
guide? Turn the fuck trim on. Whatever that is in this little dialogue. And then you're good to go. Why the fuck wouldn't you include that? Anyways.
They want you to burn through hardware.
Vertex, man. They just didn't have it together back in the day.
So, yeah, the AIO has come a long ways, and most of it's Asetek. Asetek's good company, great lawyers.
ASUS?
Asetek.
Oh, Asetek. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying everyone needs to be air cooled because it is safe. The throttling the voltage and heat protection that's built into everything now that is very hard to defeat. It's all there. The protections are there. Air cooling is good enough where you don't need AIOs unless you're Threadripper territory. But AIO is so nice because your stuff never gets, if it's set up properly, it won't get above 75C no matter how hard you push it.
Ever. I don't think I maybe saw mine hit 70C under full load after a long period of testing.
Benchmarking it for
in a hot room. Yeah.
I love how everyone's like, oh yeah, my ambient's 30 degrees C, and I had to Google it, and I'm like, Jesus, that's over 80 degrees in your fucking room. Like, how the hell do you even sit next to that thing? Damn.
So your baseline for your CPU at that point is 30C. So if you don't see after full load, if you don't, if it hits 70C in a 30C room, that's a 40C differential, and that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and that's pushing it. I'm running a 5900X soon, and I don't. And our friends, our closer circle of people we associate with other gaming PCs have suffered higher temps, and I'm like, hey, we don't keep the same case. If you have a case that has great airflow, keep it. But a lot of people buy what's pretty, and it's got a 200 millimeter fan, but it's behind a fucking tempered piece of glass. Like, do your research. You don't have to spend a bunch of money on a case. Do your research and get a case that performs well, and then you can keep it for however long you want to. A case really doesn't go bad.
Yeah, I can attest to this advice because it's exactly what I gave Billy when he bought his case, and I noticed that there was glass in the front. And I remember talking to him about the airflow, and I was like, I have a concern about it. It was a glass front. Is it still the glass front case that you had, Billy, or did you get the one with the screen?
Huh? On what?
Your PC case, your new PC.
It's just got the one glass side.
The one glass side. So it was the grill in the front. You still have that, and you're using an air cooler tower.
Yeah, I'm just using the base air cooler that came.
That's right. That's the stock cooler.
Oh, you got the Wraith on there? Freaking nice, dude. That's a good cooler. That's arguably like a higher mid-grade cooler that they just include.
Yeah,
and it's copper cord.
And I do want to water cool it eventually, but I mean, sitting under my desk in a normally cooled apartment room with regular airflow and the fans running, I don't ever hear it. Fans don't kick up. I've never seen it go. I've never even seen it touch 60C.
Can I just
say you have to keep your house like a fucking tundra?
Well, that's true. We do keep it. It's usually about 68 degrees at all times.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's like Russian temperature right there, man. That's
Billy's
awesome.
The house I want to go to after too long of a night at a bar, and I just get dropped off on his doorstep. He drags me inside. I'm like, oh, this is perfect temperature. Yes. Just leave me on the floor. I'm fine. Yep. It's cool.
I just give me like some sort of blanket just for texture. I'm good.
anywhere between 66 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit ambient temperature is my jam. That, I will sleep for days on that.
Yep. Yeah. I'm hot natured, dude. If it's above 70 degrees, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Dude, I leave windows open throughout the winter. This winter got shitty and it legit made me cold, but fuck, I leave windows open in my bedroom in the winter. I love it. If I'm chilly, you just throw the quilt over. It's nice. So yeah, back to PCs.
Anyways,
I feel like a lot of people, it's what's shitty is the marketing hype is so bad around case technology that it's at least 50%. And Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you've looked at this. 50% of cases out there are garbage. No matter how nice, expensive, pretty, ugly they are, they're just terrible.
I'm actually surprised that percentage is so low because
it's probably way higher.
Even when I was building my PC not too long ago, like it was a hard time finding a good case with high airflow. Like I know my requirements. I need a 200 millimeter intake fan. I need ability to exhaust at least 240 millimeters
optical drive
somewhere on the case. Yep. And then I need a rear exhaust fan of at least 120 millimeters. That's what I know I need to run because I know what I'm building. But it like blows my mind how hard that is to find. Like I love my old case on my Beast because it's two 200 millimeter fans in the front. I mean, I just need to slap a new air cooler. I really should swap my new PC to the old case and run it that way because that thing can pull all kinds of air through it. And I still don't hear anything out of this new case anyway. But it was a hard find, and it was still $100. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's not even made out of like steel, you know.
My case, I believe I've got two 220s in the front.
Nice.
I want to say there's I don't know what the size is, but it's like whatever the next step down is on top, and then the same size on the back. Yeah, I think it's 140 on the top and back.
So I went and Phil and I kind of talked about this after stream one day last week. I got a Lanley 011 Dynamic, which is kind of the benchmark for a good flowing, pretty case on the market right now. It wasn't super expensive, but it is very non-typical.
Yeah. Well, because that's the case that has the power supply off to the side, right? It's offset.
Yeah, the motherboard like
everything
above the power supply, or I mean in front of, because the power supply is not on the bottom, it's behind.
Right.
And the intake is on the side of the case and exhausts out the top or bottom, or vice versa, however you set up the fans. Currently, I'm going to run intake from the top, intake from the bottom, so it hits the graphics card, it pulls it through the AIO and exhausts out the side of the case. So all the components get a little bit of ambient from the CPU, but components, as long as they have good airflow, it's fine. But the graphics card has 3 120 intakes right on.
Yeah, your GPU usually takes priority anyway, because it's the hottest thing in the PC right there.
And can I just touch on like the hybrid operation of a lot of components now, like GPUs, power supplies, if they're just under normal daily load, not gaming, not doing benchmarks or any of that, they don't even spin fans. I think that's awesome.
My graphics
card, dust control, that's noise control, that's just awesome. That's less stress on ball bearings and liquid bearing, whatever the hell is going on in your fans. It's all over the place, but that's just so much less power draw and noise. That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
My
I remember
fans only turn on when I game.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Even my power supply, hell, my I think my front fan idles, like it just sits there and it turns like 200 RPM.
Yeah, basically enough to kind of turn it. Like
it's
that's
just
not
circulating some fresh air in.
Yeah.
Just like that's all it's doing, and it's doing it very, very slowly. It's kind of scary. Like my house makes more noise than my computer does now.
Yeah, same.
I remember a long time ago, man. It was tough to get
totally
a computer
backwards.
quiet. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, my computer was so fucking loud. 80 millimeter fans. Oh man, 120s were like, what? That's awesome,
dude. I can't believe we survived on 80 millimeters, man.
Dude, I had a shit ton of them.
I have. Well, my dad still has the IBM Fountain 2, man. And when you turn that thing on, you got that heavy click switch.
And then it does the baseline, like full voltage to everything.
Yep. And then you hear that 5 1/4 fire up. Or sorry, that was a 3.5. My bad. The 5 1/4 went pink, 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 pink.
That's so awesome.
What's funny is my Raspberry Pi that's in the case with the fan is louder than my computer.
And that's not even loud, but that's crazy how
but
it's.
The fan is like also like this big.
Super I was gonna
tight.
say my Raspberry Pi has never kicked up at all.
Yeah.
Those little fans.
The fan on mine, it's just always on, I guess. So the way it had me plug it in.
So my case is built around 120s, which isn't ideal, but it works because of how weird it is. I'm a little worried about my chipset fan. That thing is tiny, and I hope it doesn't make a shit ton of noise. I'm hoping the tempered glass sides like just shut all that up to where it's not loud.
What motherboard are you talking about?
The Crosshair 8 Hero.
You're not gonna hear it.
You're not gonna hear it.
Good. Because I'm looking at that tiny little bastard. I'm like, man, I hope that doesn't like.
When I looked at it, I thought the same thing too. No. As long as you're keeping your ambient case temps down below 70 C, you'll never hear that thing.
Good
I've never
enough.
heard
And
it,
even
I'm at a
not
year.
even below 70C. Like you could get it up as high as what 90, 95, I think, before it goes high like full bore. Like if you hit 80, it's gonna freak out a little
Because
bit.
I'm gonna modulate my fan speed for sure all
Well,
over the
what-
place.
and I could be wrong, so don't like crucify me or anything. But I'm pretty sure that the alarm on that thing isn't going to kick on until 90C, and then it's going to go. And if that's the case, your shit's dirty, man. Clean your fucking computer
Yeah,
once in a while,
for
you
real.
lazy motherfuckers.
You could just look right in there and be like, dude, that's Chewbacca in that thing, dude.
You know what-
Clean that shit out.
What's funny is I'm at about a year on my computer, and I've just now noticed that I need to. It's like just slightly got a little dust on it, and now I need to take it out and blow it out. But I just haven't had time. But like I'm at a year, and it's just now starting to kind of itsy bitsy look dirty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're pretty well engineered as long as you have good filters, which most cases do,
Which,
and
that's
just
just
clean
dust on
those
the-
things out.
that's just dust on the outside. Like there's
Right.
nothing on the inside.
Right. And a lot of the better performing cases don't have filters on them. That's a new trend again. And that's just a horrible freaking idea. Just change the damn filters, man.
Hey,
Just-
man, they're just trying to make it look pretty. Okay.
That's exactly it.
I've got those little screen thingies I can pull out and blow off.
Though,
Yep.
and honestly, as long as they're not triple filtered, like doing something weird behind it, like a double filter is not a bad deal. Like if you have good size holes in the front, nice micro screen filter in the back, and then nothing else obstructing it behind that, I mean,
You're fine.
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
That
Especially
triple
if you can pull
filter.
those things out, just fucking use a
Yeah,
vacuum, like a
Those
lint
things
filter,
come out
basically.
super easy. Like they just
Yeah.
pull right out. So
I mean, those Lysol like cleaning wipes just you're done.
Oh
And it-
yeah, you can definitely use those too.
Yeah.
And if you want your room to smell nicer, you can actually spray some lemon pledge on the screen.
Oh my god.
I'm dead serious.
What? What?
It's an
Oh,
old air
man.
freshener trick.
I kind of want to rig some like Lysol dryer sheets
So
to the
you know,
back.
you know the fine mesh that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You wash it off really good. You dry it out. You spray just a thin layer of lemon pledge on it and just let it sit out and dry, and then put it back in your PC case. It
Yeah, 'cause
captures
it'll-
more dust and it
it'll-
refreshes the air a little.
yeah. I was gonna say,
It
'cause
doesn't
pull
put
your
any
hair
res-
in and-
It doesn't put any residue on your components either. It's completely safe.
Phil's tips, everyone.
Hmm. Maybe I have to
Hey,
get
I didn't
myself
say-
some lemon pledge.
Lemon pledge.
Suddenly there's a run on lemon pledge. Like grocery
Yeah,
stores.
it's like, all right, everybody.
Lemon pledge, nowhere to be found. Everybody's
There's going to be a
what
race
everybody's
versus
policy.
spec lemon pledge now. It's going to be neon green lemon pledge bottle.
Because where one
It
of
does-
my filters is in the front of my case, and my airflow comes in and either blows out the back or the top or something like that. I don't remember which way, but it's gonna fumigate the room with pledge.
I just want to add, don't do that to your filters. I mean, do that to your furnace filters because you're gonna throw them out in a minute, but don't do that on your actual computer filters because it does have wax in it. So
Just fucking spray it out the front and just let it suck it in.
it's just I just realized I was saying that on the internet and I was like, shit, some asshole's gonna hear that.
My shit shut off and won't turn on again. What happened?
I only had 4 joints today, Mom.
I want my PC to smell good from my friends. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh,
it's
is it
a little
already
early.
time? Are we
Yeah.
done?
Should we raid?
Oh well, I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know what time
That's
it was.
okay. We can kind of BS. It's fine.
Well,
That
BS
Fatal
for a
Frame
second.
does look good though. I'm pretty stoked. I'm definitely picking that up. So I'll drop the Switch at your house and Metroid and Fatal Frame it and capture it all because I want to watch that shit, especially on Fridays. Like that was fun. I think anybody who hasn't checked out Jeeves' channel that sees us later, check it out. It's a fun time on Fridays.
Bucket Fridays. Yep. Every Friday, for some reason, people let me just jabber for like 4 hours. We do play games, though. We do play games.
Hey, fucking
Yeah,
Fridays
you know,
are
there's-
great.
There's some
Okay.
music, there's some other stuff happening, but man, the gaming is fun. That
All right.
Undertale series you did, that was a good
I
time.
have a raid ready, and we're gonna raid Spiffy Steph.
Woo! All right,
Ooh.
Jeff, did you have final thoughts?
Final thoughts are: I know it's a tough time to build a PC. I know it's a tough time to upgrade, but hold steady. GPU prices are going down as we speak. I don't know if it's permanent. Crypto is on the decline. Give it a second. These companies are coming up with new ways to make these GPUs for gamers again, and give it 6 months. There may be a pretty good turnaround. But if you're looking to upgrade, do not buy crazy ass price stuff right now. If you have a Micro Center
Frank.
close,
Hold your wad.
yeah. If
Frank.
you have a Micro Center close, maybe make a friend or two, and they might take care of you. So don't
Frank.
make them do anything that's going to cost their job, but definitely talk to them. And who knows, there might be a spot on the shelf for you.
Frank. Sorry,
Frank.
I just hitting home
Yep.
the fact that you spent $1,800.
All right. Well, and on that note, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And we'll see you next week, or we'll see you tomorrow on my channel for fucking Fridays. We might play some music and play some games and just play, I don't know, stuff and have fun.
Yeah,
Bye.
tune in.
Bye.
I'm totally going to be there tomorrow, Phil.
Okay. the